We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
I did. Oh, wow. Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blab. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers.
Okay, you ready? Open wide!
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollersPodcast.com. What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday to you. Yes, it is Thursday. Great to see everybody. I'm glad to be hanging out with you guys here on a wonderful. Yes, it is DSP Day. I'll be hanging it over on DSP's stream in a little bit. But here, first and foremost, we're hanging out here for a few hours, having a great time, talking video games and all things that implies. First and foremost, hello, Blabs.
Hello, it is Thursday.
I legitimately got lost. I was like,
I know. I was giving you a thumbs up sign to tell you to stop at Thursday. I was like, that's good.
Stop.
I need to get a stop sign and I just have it like next to me behind the scenes. I can just put it up whenever you say something silly or wrong, like when I'm not there. I'm like, good, that's enough.
You know what you need to have? You need to have a misinformation sign. That's what you need to have.
I need to get a cone that says misinformation. Just put it up.
Or just trigger. That's it. just
whenever I'm not there, just be like, boop, trigger.
Just let people know you've been triggered by something that I've said. And I'll be like, that's right. You go trigger.
It's not Friday. It's Thursday, damn it.
That's right. Well, here we are on a wonderful Thursday. We got a great guest joining us today in just a few minutes. We got a lot going on, a lot to talk about today. The show started, and when we started to build the show, it was like, what are we going to talk about? And then it was like, we got a lot to talk about. So
we actually had to slice stuff down today.
Yes, we've been doing a lot of slicing. Usually, just for point of reference, we have a run sheet which tells us everything we're going to be talking about on a day-to-day basis. And when we started the show, it was about 1 page long. Today, it was 4 pages long. So we've been doing I really feel like this show could go 3 hours in time. But we'll get to that point some other time. With that said, speaking of threes, let's bring in our guest today. The wonderful, the enchanting, the incredible cowboy himself. It's Eric from You Mean the Movies.
Hold on. I got a WWE Champions match I'm in.
Okay. Let me know how that goes. If you are you winning?
Pinned him. There we go. All right, we're good.
Good for you. Well, glad you're here. How's everything going, man?
It's going great.
You seen any good movies lately?
We just went through the whole Jaws franchise.
Yeah.
But we have one Jaws movie left.
Oh, yeah?
Jaws 5.
So oh, my God.
Which of the Jaws is the best Jaws?
Well, the first one.
Okay. That's usually how it goes.
The first one's like one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
Oh, yeah?
It's one of those movies like back in the day when I had regular TV, you're just flipping through the channels. If you ever flipped the Jaws, which was on all the time, I'd
big old Brucey.
No matter where it was in the movie, I'd be like, well, it looks like we're watching Jaws for this today.
So my youngest daughter is really infatuated with Jaws. Just the idea of it. She's never seen it, obviously. She's 10, right?
Yeah, but definitely not.
but I what happened was I was at Universal Studios last year with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers and several of the members of the crew, and we went to the Super Nintendo World. And while we were there, we went through the backlot ride and saw Jaws while we were there. So that was part of it. So I showed her that, and she was like fascinated by it because in that ride sequence, what happens is Jaws pops out and there's like blood that comes up from the water, and she was like terrified, but so she's very intrigued by seeing the movie. And I'm just not ready to show her that yet. And I think it's probably a bad idea to show her.
Listen, have her play like Zoo Tycoon 2 where she can have all the sharks that she wants. Let her have that bubble for now.
I just got the Jaws Lego set.
Or give her that.
And the shark.
Yeah, it's also pretty impressive.
Need to build it.
Well, Yeah, I think Jaws will eventually be in our future. I don't know if Jaws 5 will be in our future. I didn't know they made Jaws 5.
Yeah, it's an
Best
Italian
Ones
ripoff.
5, right, everybody?
Yeah.
It's actually called Cruel Jaws, but it was marketed as Jaws 5 in Italy.
Have you seen those like spin-off ones? I can't remember what they were named, but there was like one where it's kind of like Jaws, but it's like others, and there's like a whole bunch of them, and like
Like
they're
Sharknado.
Yeah, and like there's like tons of those spin-off movies. Like wow.
And then Meg. There's Meg, and now
Yeah.
there's Meg 2 and all that. So
I just think of Shut Up, Meg. Family Guy.
are sharks the greatest movie villain ever? Just throwing it out there. I mean, they may be the greatest, possibly.
They're pretty terrifying. Did you see that last shark attack where it was that a couple months ago where I bit off that chick's like calf?
Yes.
Jesus Christ! It just took a chunk out of her leg. Like I don't even know if she lost her leg after that, or like if she even has a functioning leg.
Well,
But,
she
like,
lost part of it.
Yeah, definitely lost part of it for sure. It would
Can't
giant-
grow that back.
Well, I
giant
mean,
chunk of meat.
I'm wondering if they had to amputate from the knee down. Is what I'm saying. Like, cause like, how functioning is that?
It seems like a pretty good idea to research, producer Blabs.
Okay.
Well, while you're doing that,
Update.
I'd like to remind everybody we are live over at Rumble, and you could follow us over at X. You could have found out that Eric was going to be on the show just simply following us at Side Scroller Pod. We also have an Instagram account. Don't we, Blabs? Don't answer because I know you're doing research right now. We also
The answer is yes. She lost her leg.
Oh no, poor girl.
Supposedly.
Okay. We also have a Kick account, and you can listen to the show over on Apple Podcast and on Spotify. But once again, the place you need to go, the place we are going to be encouraging you forever to go, is sidescrollerspodcast.com. Head on over there and become a supporter. If you find any value in what we do on a day-to-day basis, that is a great place to go and become a free member. And if you want to support, that would be greatly appreciated over there. As I'll tell you what, man, this YouTube thing could end at any day, and we fully encourage some sort of hate harassment campaign directed our way, probably from video game developers, just for simply speaking common sense. So with that said, head over there, become a member, because there will be a day where YouTube says, you ain't doing that anymore. But if you are, speaking of YouTube, new, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Join the 93,720 just normal men looking for common sense in the video game and entertainment space. Hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you guys to join. And let's do our best to get to 1,000 likes. That's always our goal. Let's continue to go on. Yes, Blabs.
So, correction. That was fake news. They apparently did a bunch of skin grafting on her, but she lost sensation in the bottom of her foot and much mobility in that leg. So they were able to keep the leg, which is very, thumbs up.
That's
But,
good. I mean,
yeah.
I can't imagine you'd be able to feel a whole lot when your entire calf has been bitten off.
Exactly, and like how much of a function it is. But apparently they're doing a lot of grafting, and she can't really use it a whole lot. But at least she didn't get to chop it off.
What a shame. What a shame. What a shame, man.
That was in Texas too,
Yeah, it's down on the Gulf Coast.
Wild.
Yeah, there are sharks everywhere, Blabs, which makes
Including in politics.
and yes, and in the gaming space, in every walks of life, there are sharks.
Literally.
Well, here we are, ready to go. Right off the bat, man, check this out. Munchie Ninja came in with a massive $50 super chat. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Says here from the 199 to show my support for those who speak for us normal people. You are, Munchie Ninja, just a normal man. Do me a favor. Look at that. Look at that. Going on the wall. First screen in a long time.
50.
Right there, Munchie. There you go. Hey, let's get it going. Love that. Thank you very much, Munchie Ninja. Really appreciate that support. Let's have a great day. Let's get lots of greens on that wall today, man. That's good stuff. Obsidian Sinclair came in, says, howdy, Craig. Have you heard about our friend Phil half admitting to bankruptcy fraud with his WWE champions? Curious about your opinions. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that today. I had lots of things sent to me in the last 12, 24 hours, however long it's been. But I always have things sent to me about Phil. And here's the reality of it. I don't care. I mean, that went from the bottom of my heart. I don't care. All right. Hey, the worthy one came in and says, hey, Craig, you've been keeping up with the feud between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. It was the best storytelling AEW has ever done. No, I have not. So there's that. Hopefully it's been good. Have you been keeping up with that? You watch some wrestling, don't you, Eric?
Only the classics. I don't really watch much modern. I usually go back and watch Monday Night War stuff. Right. Like flip between Nitro and Raw and see what was going on that night back in the day.
Hey, where they
lived childhood.
Yeah, right. A little nostalgia. We had some good nostalgia, man. You know, there was an ongoing debate I saw where people were talking about what was the best decade. Was it the 80s or the 90s? And I think it really kind of comes down to, you know, when you truly grew up, when were your formative years? Was it the 80s or 90s, right? Because and kind of the various, I don't know, the just kind of the gray that happened once the internet happened, the idea of culture just kind of disappearing. There was a very distinct style in the 80s. There was a very distinct style in the 90s. In the 2000s, early 2000s, there was kind of a style, and then the internet happened and social media happened, and it just kind of became like a big old palette of gray, bleh, right?
I would say it's kind of a mix of both.
Right now,
I'll go from like 80s. Which one was better, 80s or 90s? I'd say it's like 1984, 85 to 97.
Well, we're currently living
best span of media in pop culture.
Well, we are currently living in 1984? Is that the book?
Yeah.
So in 2024, we are currently living in 1984, which is great. But yeah, I mean, that's such an interesting conversation to have. And I've said this many, many times. I feel so fortunate that specifically me at my age, so I'm 43 years old, I had an entire childhood without the internet, right? My entire teen years were built around when the internet was in its infancy. So it was just dial up, and you learned to value the internet like literally an hour at a time through AOL discs. And then as I became a mature adult, so did the internet. The internet matured. And I feel like I grew up, and I know this sounds nostalgic, but I feel like I grew up at the perfect time. And I feel so fortunate for that. As I'm, you know, I didn't have all the information and everything available at my fingertips at all time, and I had to figure it out for myself. So
I actually miss researching in books. Just saying. Because I had to do that all the time in school when I was growing up, because we didn't really use the internet then. I was like, oh, look, I found the answer, flipping through all these pages. And it was satisfying. You did the hard work and you got the answer. It's not just some lazy ass Google, okay, cool.
Yeah, there's a sense of discovery and accomplishment when you find something on your own, right? It's really, really good. Well, look, we got a lot to talk about today. As I said, we have so much. We have a big anniversary, by the way. Big anniversary that dropped today. We have some major Switch news, which I think could actually be very, very cool for the Switch 2. We are going to be getting into Concord and what could have been at Concord. And through all, people like talk about all the things that we talk about the insanity of the video game world. Today, we're going to give you guys a game that is everything right with video games. And we want you guys to fully, hopefully, embrace this game, which is beginning getting a little bit more traction. And of course, we're going to get into this literal targeted campaign that's going on with G&G and Ryan and Gary and everything else associated with that. I know they've had a lot to say, but it's pretty nuts. So we're going to finish with that today. So with that said, we got a lot going on. Appreciate all your support, whether it's a direct donation, super chats, or a Rumble rant. We'll make sure we read them off throughout the show. But with that said, Blaz, please fill us in on today in video games history.
Okie dokie. So, September 5th, we have Tetris Worlds releasing back in 2001. We have Armored Core 3 releasing back in 2002. And then we have the Power Rangers Ninja Storm releasing back in 2003. So, look at that, guys. We're going 1, 2, 3. Ta-da!
Okay, Blabs.
What? I thought those were fine.
Yeah, they're great. Okay, so we have some major issues.
Why are you being sarcastic here?
We have some major issues in your choices today,
Listen,
Blab.
Yellowflush says this is acceptable, so I don't want to hear a peep.
Flash, wait till you hear the word, the two of the games that Blabs has missed. All right. Okay, first and foremost, a classic on the NES. A classic in some ways, but some people will hate this game. First and foremost,
I thought about putting that on, but then I was like, nah.
Super Pitfall. Okay, Super Pitfall on the NES. Eric, you ever play this game?
I have.
Okay, your thoughts on it? It's not like I want to say it's spectacular.
It's not the best.
No,
but it's a good one. I mean, it's definitely one of those. I remember.
Not saying meh.
Okay. That's fine.
Right,
Once again, compare it to
Power Rangers Ninja Storm. Super.
No, Eric, no.
Okay, that's fine. Super
It's an
Pitfall,
opinion
fine.
you could have.
But what about Street Fighter, the movie, the game. I'm sorry. Big L right there, Blabs. Big L.
Well, I feel like I put the original, like the Japanese one once, and a couple weeks ago, didn't I?
Blabs. This is a big L right here. Now,
I don't care.
Street Fighter, the movie, the game. The arcade game was rough. The home console version of the game was actually considerably better than the arcade version. Did you ever play Street Fighter, the movie, the game, Eric, back in the day?
No, I barely watched Street Fighter the movie.
Thanks, Flash.
Okay, so I don't know if I can have Eric on the show anymore.
Listen. I win. That's it. I win. Suck it. Go on.
Shut up.
Ah! Well, so no one's gonna listen. I have show and tell today, so you go out and suck it. Look what I got, guys. I got the
That was awful. I hate you now.
Fuck you. I got the Monkey Bobble Banana Legend. And look at this. Look how cute this is. This actually has like a little bookie book thing.
Oh, good for
Where did
you.
Get that.
I got it on Amazon. I was gifted it on my Throne wish list. So I started playing a couple levels yesterday. I am washed up, I have to say. So I used to play it on my I played it on my Nintendo DS when I was a child, and I was like, I'm so amazing. And I used to play with my sister. I started playing again last night, and I'm like, I am awful. I feel so slow and sluggish because I haven't played these games in years. And so there you go, guys. I got monkey balls.
Hey, Blabs.
Talk about the
Big balls.
original GameCube game.
No. I didn't have the GameCube game. I had a Nintendo DS. Yeah, that's pathetic, Craig. Look at this real video game.
I'm holding
A
about
successful
$25,000. I'm holding about $25,000 here, Blabs. This is my
Yeah,
retirement.
but do you have
You got two
balls?
copies. I haven't been able to get to town yet. Do you think there's still a copy for a Concord for me?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Eric, because this is one of the things that we were going to talk about today. But let's go get to it right now, because I do think it's worth talking about. I went out. So if you recall, Blabs, a couple days ago when the Concord news came out on Tuesday, we had raised her on, and I went out and I was like, this game's going to be a collector's edition. So literally during the show, I went out to Target, I went out to Best Buy, and I went out to GameStop to go pick up as many copies of Concord as I could. Right. So I went out to Target first and bought the 2 copies. I was really going to buy 1, but Blabs was like, go buy 2. So they had 2 copies. So I bought 2.
I'm an enabler.
You are. Then I went to Best Buy, and Best Buy had 3 copies. And I was like, I don't know. It's like it's $40 a piece. It's $120. That's a nice chunk of change to throw down. And I decided to pass on it. And I decided to pass on those 3 copies. Then I went to GameStop, and GameStop didn't even have it in stock. He's like, I don't even know. I don't even know if the game's coming out. They didn't even have it in stock. So anyways, I had left, and I had my 2 copies of Concord, my retirement package here. And yesterday I was like, hey, I should probably go back to Best Buy and buy those 3 copies, because we had a story during the show yesterday that they were going for ridiculous amounts on eBay. Someone listed it for $25,000 on eBay. Nobody's going to buy it for that. It's just a meme thing. So I went back to Best Buy yesterday, and they would not sell me the game. I went in to buy the 3 copies of Concord at Best Buy, and they wouldn't sell it to me despite it being on the shelves, because their system literally wouldn't sell it to me anymore. And I was like, that ain't going to fly. So you know what I did, Eric? I went to Walmart. And guess what happened? They're no longer selling Concord either. So he said he's never seen anything like this happen before. And the fact that he literally he's like, I sold a copy of this earlier today. So I missed it by a few hours. So anyways,
I wonder
can't
if my
buy
local
Concord.
game shop will have any copies. They're not in the big overall system like Walmart and Best Buy.
Right. So here's the thing about it, right? People are like, oh man, you shouldn't buy these games. Here's the thing. These retailers, the way this works is the retailer buys the copy of the games, right? It's not like by me buying this, I'm giving money to
yeah, it's already been bought.
It's already been bought. The game has already been bought. So I'm giving and the margin on these games are so small, right? So for a $60 game, as a point of reference, when I owned a video game store, we would buy new games for $55 and sell them for $60. Like, you ever wonder why GameStop is so heavy into reselling? Because the margins are so much greater. The new games that they sell, that's just extra. right? That's like a gas station selling gas. There's no margin. Where they make money is by selling you hot dogs and convenience stuff. That's how game stores work. They make their money off used sales. So by me buying Concord, it didn't benefit anybody except for, at the time, their Target, because the idea was they want to sell them. And then if they sell some, they will then ultimately rebuy more. But that's how it works. So anyways, with that said, you can no longer buy Concord anymore.
But
So
what you can get is some balls.
That's right. That's right, Blabs. You sure can.
That's it.
You know what's funny is in about 15 years, somebody's going to find a pile of Concord games
Yep.
at a landfill.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's going to be an interesting story to watch, but I had mixed feelings when I was leaving Best Buy and Walmart yesterday because I thought to myself, damn, I'd like to have more. But then I thought to myself, damn, this is going to skyrocket the price. Because those are out there. They're
only
out
sales of that game.
Yes. Yes. I mean, well, I was literally the only person who bought the game at Target. Like the only person. So
Don't forget the GameStop guy who was like, it's not even out yet. What are you talking about? That was the best part.
I had no idea. Hey,
What do you
I think
mean?
GameStop,
Concord's
they only
not out
order
yet.
nowadays. GameStop's usually only order what people pre-order, so they won't get physical copies unless somebody's there to pre-ordering.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Their store space is just for shirts and pops these days.
Dude, it's awful. So like I live by GameStop, maybe an hour plus away, and every so often I'm able to get in.
Hold on. When you say you live by something, that's not like an hour away. When you live by something, it's like 10 minutes away.
Nothing's 10 minutes away but trees.
I was gonna say, like, you don't.
And the bank.
Wives, you don't live by anything if the closest GameStop is an hour away.
Yeah, the closest Walmart is 30 minutes.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, moving on. So listen, this GameStop is always either open by like 11 or noon, which is a real pain in the ass because like I live far away, be open, right? And now I think now it's even closed at this point. But anytime I would go in, it was just Funko Pops and T-shirts and like super duper expensive, overpriced games. I'm like, why do you exist? What is your purpose? No one's buying from you. Nobody's ever in there. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, GameStop's model has tremendously changed. Ours has not, as Ian came in with the massive 50 European monies. Ian, thank you very much for that. Says the next Indiana Jones film will be him trying to retrieve a copy of Concord from Craig so he can return it to the British Museum. Let's go. Love that idea. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to set up a bunch of booby traps for geriatric Indiana Jones. And
I like how you said booby traps.
Haha, like it. Ian, thank you so much. Let's get Ian back up on the wall. That's outstanding. Thank you very much for that. Also, the Worthy One came in. By the way, Worthy One, speaking of that wrestling feud you mentioned with Hangman, do me a favor. If there's like a recap of that, will you send me that on X so I can kind of take a look at that? If there's like a full recap of that story, because I'd be interested in learning about that. With that said, Worthy One says, hey, did you guys peep Smash JT's video on Sweet Baby Inc.'s owner, Black Girl Gamer, and some journalists having a stream where they spent a huge portion about bitching about gamers? Yes, I did see that video, and I actually saw the original video, and it was quite interesting. I thought we'd talk about it. Let me just say this: Smash has been doing some phenomenal work. Smash is doing more work as a journalist than the vast majority of video game journalists out there, and I just want to commend him for that. He's doing excellent stuff of breaking this stuff down. And Eric, did you get a chance to see this video of the Sweet Baby Inc. Black Girl Gamers and No, not the boots. No, but did you see the stream they did about this?
I did not. No, I haven't. But
well, yeah. The TLDR is it's three of them, and they're like, gamers are toxic and we're perfect, right? But that's like the quick rundown of it, right? They did nothing wrong. It's always the gamer's fault, and things are changing. You better evolve. That was kind of the message along the way. But Smash did a really good job of breaking down, and it's just like we see with this these attacks on G&G and Nerdrotic, is the things that you're complaining about is exactly what you're doing, and there's the hypocrisy is always there. So
well, whatever happened to the customer's never wrong? It's like they're complaining about consumers who are wanting to spend their time and money on things that they enjoy. if you're not enjoying something, you're going to say, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to play that. And then you go back to doing something that you want to do. Like, you only got so many hours in the day of leisure time. You don't want to spend it on something that feels like a chore.
Right.
That you don't find entertaining.
I've been saying this for a long time. The disconnect between the video game industry and its consumers is incredibly vast right now. There's a giant chasm between it. And, you know, like I said, we're going to talk about a game that everyone should be supporting, because apparently it's everything that's right that we want in video games. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. But yeah, I think it was a really great example, and Smash did a really good job of breaking that down. So, Ankle Breaker says, for context, Hangman burned down Swerve's childhood home that he just bought back. Incredible storytelling by AEW. That's arson, by the way. And Hangman Page should probably be in jail for that. Just throwing that out there. So, sounds like a pretty great, sounds very old school with that approach. I was watching a clip today, Eric, of Stone Cold lifting Triple H up in a forklift while Triple H is in a car, and then dropping Triple H and his car head down, effectively murdering Triple H back in the day. It's like, that's what I'm talking about. That's wrestling right
monster
there.
Trucks and WCW.
Oh yeah, man, that's good stuff. All right, we could sit here and reminisce all day long about WWE programming and brilliance of wonderful storytelling and wrestling, but we're not. Maybe some other day. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It is time for Hard News. Hard News. Hey, look, there's Eric. Yeehaw! Let's go!
We honestly keep forgetting to end it before. So
okay, hold on. Let's do it one more time. Hard News.
Yeah!
Yeah, nailed it. Love
Was that the one without me in it, or did you cut it?
No, I cut it right before.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. That was
I was
excellent.
like waiting for my moment.
My favorite though is the green screen that Eric sent me of just him going yeehaw over and over and over again in different takes.
3
It's
minutes
just
of
a
me
green
yeehaw.
screen. Yeah, it's just minutes straight of yeehaws.
Would you like to know the power of editing, Eric?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. That's actually not you saying yeehaw. Well, that is you saying yeehaw, but that is not a take of you actually saying
Yeah,
yeehaw.
I know. It's one of my older yeehaws.
Yes. I sliced them together to look like you were saying that. Magic.
You've all been bamboozled.
I always knew. I know my yeehaws.
I know you know. All right, I'll tell you what you don't know. And we love looking at crazy food. I love seeing all the insanity that's coming out of these cancer machines known as like Taco Bell, who's just giving us cancer through their horrible food. But Taco Bell has something that I've never been on the Mountain Dew train. I know it's like gamer fuel or whatever, right? Like gamers love Mountain Dew. I've never got that. Like, do you like Mountain Dew, Eric?
I mean, I do, but I don't drink it anymore.
Well, there was the Code Red for a long time. Yeah, I mean, you're a grown ass man. You're a normal man. You don't drink Mountain Dew anymore, right? You know, but there was the Code Red, and then then like the next trend was the Baja Blast.
Yeah, we used to only be able to get Baja Blast at Taco Bell. Then they started putting it in cans for like the summer and stuff.
Yeah, well, Taco Bell is doubling down or tripling down on the Baja Blast success, as they're offering. Never expected gelato to be an offering at Taco Bell, but here we are. We got Baja Blast gelato over at Taco Bell. Do you anticipate, Blabs, ever making a trip to your Taco Bell that's an hour and a half away from you?
I was about to say, I don't even know if there's one close by. I've never paid attention. I am absolutely not. I think Mountain Dew is disgusting, and I also think Taco Bell is disgusting. So why would I go and get a crossover?
Have you ever had Baja Blast?
No.
It's completely different than Mountain Dew.
It sounds disgusting, though.
It's a blast of the Baja Blabs.
The hell's a Baja? Isn't that a pickup truck?
It's a taste of Mexico.
Yeah,
I
Blabs.
swear, there's like a super pickup truck. It's called like the Baja or whatever. Anyway.
There is, yes. But
yeah, okay.
as Eric pointed out, this is exactly what Mexicans taste like. It's Baja Blast.
In gelato form.
That's right. There you go. Congratulations. Which, by the way, Blabs, as a Guamanian / Italiano,
Italiana.
sorry, my bad.
feminine.
Sorry, gender. Your thoughts on gelato, primarily thought of as an Italian ice cream, right? Your thoughts of an Italian ice cream being served at a Mexican restaurant.
I feel like that's the cultural appropriation, but because it's a whiteies, you're allowed to take their culture. So
because it's the whiteies.
Yeah, everyone can steal from the whiteies, but you can't steal from the other people. And understand, right? So I guess we're allowed to do that.
Okay, Blabs. Tell us how you really feel.
I just did.
All right, sounds good. Okay, well, if you plan on getting the Baja Blast gelato from Taco Bell, please send us a review on X. Let us know. Once again, over at Side Scroller Potter, you can send it to me directly at Stuttering Craig over on X. Next up, this is a nice little fine blast before we got going. The Minecraft movie trailer was released yesterday. Eric, did you get a chance to see that?
Yeah, I watched it last night.
Your thoughts?
I think it looks kind of fun, honestly. It looks flipping weird, and I'm not sure what Jason Momoa is wearing, but
right. My thought was, when it comes to YouTube, there's the likes and dislike ratio. There was more likes than there were dislikes. There's a lot of people like, I don't even know what I'm looking at, right? But once again, the audience it's designed for the
it's a kids movie.
Right, yeah. Exactly. And it's going to make $1 billion. And people complaining about it. Like it's going to be successful. It's Minecraft. It has Minecraft on it, and everybody else who has a kid knows that their kid's going to beg them to go see it because it's Minecraft.
Yeah.
But this was kind of interesting. This is and by the way, we may get flagged for this because Warner Brothers was going around flagging everybody, including us, for reacting to the trailer yesterday. But this was posted as far as is there any sort of copyright, or maybe this is just a nod to something, but just kind of, this is how the Minecraft movie trailer started.
What's good, Twitter? We made a discovery. Look at this. You got the Minecraft movie teaser, right? It starts off normal, right? You got opens into a portal, right? And then my comrade over here, Flight Paul.
Hello.
Want to tell him what you said?
Tell me why they just joined this shit on Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 1. It's speaking of it's the same
Wow.
It's just more fucking people. It's the same people.
Oh my god.
You got blue, you got pink, and you got red, just in the opposite fucking. First thing you see when you load up this fucking trailer is.
Okay, so anyways.
I mean, they're not wrong. It does really look like it. However, it's just 4 people standing up on a mountain looking down.
I think it is coincidence more than anything else. But, it's noticeable. Yeah, Eric?
Here's the thing. They're acting like Fortnite was the first thing to do that.
Right.
Fortnite just ripped off everything else.
Fortnite was the first time. You know what? Yes, I do believe I saw that in Legend of Zelda as well, where in Breath of the Wild, where he comes out of the cave and then there's Hyrule down below. Like, they
have the high ground. They all stole from Star Wars.
Yeah, it is what it is.
The mental gymnastics.
One of those things, but it's just kind of fun to kind of take a look at. All right, next thing is, as we make our way through these quick hits, we have a major anniversary today. Major anniversary in the world of content. And I think that it's important to acknowledge this, as 1 year ago today, Heels versus Babyface went viral after this rant.
I just want to say something to you, Bethesda. Just want to say a little something. There is nothing I love more. Taking my headphones off. Fuck that. Bethesda. There is nothing I love more than to sit down, comfy chair, turn on my PC, fire up a brand new RPG, lose myself, think, oh my God, just think of this world. Just think of all the planets I can visit, all the immersive things that I can get involved with, all the fights, all the relationships, all the people I meet, all the places I go. I'm so excited to go there. And I love nothing more than, with all of that laid out in front of me, I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us. Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns! Fucking gender ambiguity! Fucking current day Californian shit! Because that's all we fucking know! Because we're boring! We're so fucking boring!
So there you go. 1 year ago today, Heels versus Babyface went off, and everybody got upset. Oh my God!
Changed the world.
It really kind of did.
Would Concord have done what it did without that rant from?
I mean,
Maz?
I guess a better question is, would
Like,
Concord? You go ahead.
His statement made everybody else stand up. Like, yeah, I don't want to take this anymore. Yeah, I'm done with it. I'm done playing shitty games.
It did kind of put a lot of stuff, a lot of emphasis on a lot of the things that are being said, and the irony of a lot of this is that people are, you look at the Twitter thread from this, and they're like, it's been 1 year since they called him a thumb, cried about pronouns, right? And he's right. He's been living rent free in their heads, for a year. And he's right. It still doesn't matter. These pronouns, they're like, what does it even matter? What does it even matter about pronouns? And like, this is why it matters, because they keep bringing it up. It clearly very much matters to them along the way.
I say proper nouns, not pronouns.
Proper nouns, pronouns.
Hey,
Hey, Ankle Break came in and says Netflix has just released the Mr. McMahon doc trailer. Nice. We need to check that out here in a minute, which is good. Well, anyways, congratulations to Az for his virality from that moment. Let's go to Az, see what he has to say about it. Oh, all right. Well, we'll get back to him a little bit later on. Thanks, Az, for your
still reading that book.
It's crazy.
It's a very long book, bro.
it just
really
keeps
getting
going,
into the
man.
details.
Yes, keeps going. All right, we're gonna look. Okay, so this Mr. McMahon trailer just dropped. Let's take a look at that here in just a minute. But before we do, some great support coming in from Speedy Cake. So I was just scrolling through some memes, and apparently the average housefly has a lifespan larger than Concord's. Thanks, Speedy Cakes. Appreciate that. Let's go. Also, Orc Reviews says the disconnect in in a lot of modern games comes from being a publicly traded company. Any company that had BlackRock or Vanguard owning a chunk of their stock pushes these awful changes that people don't want. I think there's a large, yes, I do believe in what you're saying right there. Big Top came in with a 10. Says, hey, yo, I'm going to Friday Night SmackDown tomorrow. Should I make a sign that reads DSP beat his demons while wearing my Beat My Demons t-shirt? Yes. Yes, you should.
Are you wearing your Beat Your Demons t-shirt today?
No, I'm wearing my Side Scrollers t-shirt.
Fine.
Yes.
Yes. I got my Blabs the Tower Dart shirt on.
That's right. You're custom.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, it's wonderful. Hey, speaking of merchandise, guys, head on over and pick up the brand new Normal Man t-shirt over there. Go to sidescrollersmerch.com. You can also pick up our Pride t-shirt, American Pride, as well as my daughter's Let Us Skateboard t-shirt, and of course, the brand new, extremely popular Make Gaming Great Again hats, as well as our other Patriot merchandise over there. So head over to sidescrollersmerch.com and pick some up. That's right there, ready to go. Nice opportunity right there. Hey, Eric, you want some of that, by the way? You just let me know. I'll send you some stuff, okay?
Can you make him a customized Make Gaming Great Again cowboy hat?
Would you wear it?
I mean, I don't know if you get a
Yeah, I mean,
customized cowboy hat.
I think I can make him a customized
That'd be
hat.
expensive.
But can I make him a customized hat with the
Cowboy
ears?
headphones?
Yeah, with the headphones. That's the thing. Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
These are rare. These are very rare.
One of one, as they say. Yeah, that's right.
Well, I made a pair for one of my buddies.
Oh, did you?
So,
okay,
yeah.
one of two. One of two then. All right. Hey, check it out. Captain Lolo says Drunk 3PO is finally at 100K subscribers on YouTube. Let's go, Jay. Congratulations,
Finally,
man.
Congrats, Jay.
Let's go. That's exceptional. That is wonderful. It's wonderful. Good stuff.
Never doubted him.
I love that, man. Congratulations to him. Well deserved. What a stud. We are currently sitting at 93,933 subscribers. That's a nice little round number. Do us a favor, if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Join us as we continue to grow. DB Wild says, I'll tell you how that Baja Gelato is now. It's at my local Bell, and I tried it. It's actually fairly tasty, and I'm not a gelato fan. Oh, thanks, DB Wild. Appreciate that. All right, I like how you went straight to the point. Screw X. Tell us here on the show. I love it. Absolutely ready. Talking about the Minecraft movie, says Momoa went for the Bret Hart thing, but ended up looking like turning a Ringwald. Thanks, absolutely ready. It's nice. Benjamin says, I thought gelato was Greek. Hey, normal man. Normal man. I don't know. I always thought it was an Italian thing.
Yeah, I think it's Italian.
Yes, it's Italian.
Josh says, we sell alcoholic Baja Blast at my work. Let's go. Nice. And Trevor came in, says, I work at Target in Concord. Is already sold out at my store the next day after the announcement. It says in our system that Concord has been recalled. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Trevor. Thanks for the heads up. Appreciate that. That's good.
Total recall.
Jake says, Hillside Scrollers, have a great day, legends. Let's go. And Absolutely Ready says, ironic how 90s kids grew up to be the authoritarians. Yeah, it's very ironic. Also, John says, always remember, Craig, 90% of gamblers quit right before they win big. You should have bought them all, Craig. I know, John. I know. I should have bought all the Concords. Delta says, Starfield, the game where you weren't allowed to say bad things about it. Otherwise, you were a tourist Sony pony, as was the orc that blew up the wall. And a few weeks later, we were able to say, Starfield might be bloated shit that isn't fun. That's right, Delta. Thank you very much. All right, let's check this out. This is the Mr. McMahon trailer from Netflix. Have you heard about this, Eric?
I have. Yeah. I didn't know it was dropping so soon, but I heard they were producing one.
Yeah. So there was a teaser for this, or I think it was a poster that was released about it. And this started, I believe, 4 years ago. And this was before all the allegations of everything with Mr. McMahon were released. Apparently, this is supposed to be a 6-part, 1 hour parts to this. I am very intrigued by what this is, what's going to be.
So he's involved in it?
Yes.
Doing interviews and stuff?
Yes. So Mr. McMahon was actually, Vince McMahon was actually interviewed before everything. And then once the allegations happened, they no longer had access to him, I guess. Right. But let's check out this trailer. I'm very excited to see.
Everything turned to shit.
Yes. All right. If there's any time you want me to stop, Eric, of course, you just let me know. Okay. So let's check this out. Holy shit.
In 20 days.
Really good. It's 6 episodes, you said?
Oh, yeah. That looks fucking awesome.
4 or 6.
Wow. Yeah.
Makes me wonder, what if the hush money thing is just a work?
Wow. Getting the conspiracy thing
documentary.
Going. To promote this documentary?
Yeah.
No.
To add some flavor to it. And then he's going to come back after that.
There is a 0% chance that he would go in and totally defame his career and his legacy for a documentary about himself. No,
unless
way.
It completely clears it all up.
No.
Did his reputation really take a hit?
Well, I think to the outside world, I think yes, it did. I think it did to fans of pro wrestling. I think that most pro wrestling fans saw Vince McMahon as like the guy who ran the show, and he may be a shithead, but he's our shithead, right? And he created all this. And then some of these allegations came out, and they're like, "Whoa, he's like taking a dump on this lady's chest, and like he's fucking, hush money, and like, oh, what the, like." It was one of those things where you're like,
consensual. She just started talking because they stopped paying her.
Yeah, and right. So this is going to be interesting. Like, I am very much interested in and fascinated by this world. I don't know if you know this. I actually auditioned to be an announcer for WWF back in the day. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. This is when I was like early 20s. It was before I started Screw Attack. I put together an audition tape on VHS. Now I know it was DVD. It was a DVD.
Do you have that VHS still?
I do have the actual audition tape. Yes.
Is it out there?
I think I reacted to it.
That could totally be a thing on ScienceGirlsPodcast.com.
So I think I did it one time. I did do a reaction to it, and it's like cringe as fuck. But
so can I react to this and put this on ScienceGirlsPodcast.com?
Yes, absolutely. But with that said, it was super cringe, but it was designed to be, right? The idea was I didn't want to be like, hello, I'm Vince McMahon, I like how he was. But the idea was I wanted to kind of be a heel heel bad guy announcer, right? So I was like super cocky and arrogant in it and stuff. And I actually got a call back from them, and they were like, "Hey, we like it. We like what's going on. So
stop sending us tapes."
No. So they actually said put together another one, but the second one I rushed. And I don't know what the second one looked like. I think the second one, I don't remember that, and it was obviously fairly forgettable because I never got a call back after that. But that would have been really, I mean, man. So I've always been fascinated by this world, right? By the world of wrestling and the storytelling associated with it. It's always resonated with me, and so I'm going to be very intrigued to see what they do with this because
speaking of resonating,
yes. What? You want me to stop?
That's it.
What?
I just threw that in there for the memes.
Just now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this was I don't know. Eric, do you have any thoughts on this? Is there anything you're expecting to see out of this?
I just think it's crazy how, I mean, Vince did take wrestling mainstream, but I always remember when he was just doing, the announcing stuff in the 80s and stuff, or late 70s, early 80s, all going back and watching stuff, I didn't like him. Like he wasn't the best announcer, but as soon as he took over and started doing the promotion part of it and the behind the scenes stuff,
yeah,
it really catapulted wrestling into the mainstream. So,
well, I go back to he was an announcer for so long while still essentially being the showrunner of the show, right? And that's I can't imagine how hard that has to be when you're the one creating the show, running the show while still being the person who's designed to push the narrative along the show. He was not a good announcer, but he was excellent at creating stories and characters that people cared about. So I guess we'll find out more here in a few weeks. But I see this as an opportunity for WWE to totally distance themselves from the previous era of Vince McMahon. This was brought up a couple days ago, and I think that I don't remember who brought it up. And I apologize for that, but they mentioned the idea of like this is a great line of demarcation. I think it was Razor actually. He mentioned this is a great line of demarcation where they can say we are no longer that company. And keeping in mind that this is appearing on Netflix, this documentary, which WWE did sign a giant multi-billion-dollar deal for. So
when does that live start?
January, right? So this is just enough time to be like,
if they want to disconnect themselves from this, it's not going to happen though, because you're going to watch come January when you're watching, what is it, Raw live on Netflix. Once that's over, what do you think is going to be recommended from Netflix?
Yeah, right. But at the same time, I think that right. But I think that what WWE is going to do is be like, yeah, Vince McMahon is a piece of shit. He built this. But they even did this at WrestleMania this year, where Triple H came out and he's like, "Welcome to the Triple H era," or the first Triple H WrestleMania. Right? They're trying to distance themselves from Vince McMahon, and I think they see this as an opportunity to do so, as like a new era, especially heading in. Because I think the reality is that if WWE didn't want people to see this, then it would be shelved. They would have written a check. And then they're like, yeah, okay, we'll cover the production cost. We now own this, and and it's never going to see the light of day, right? But yeah, we'll kind of see what happens with that. So, crazy. 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away. Blabs, do you have any interest as a non-wrestling fan of that?
I think I'm gonna have to get involved in some aspect just because of the people I'm always around are really interested in this, and I'll be like, I need to know what's going on just for the sake of like work and everything. Yeah. Otherwise, no.
Okay. Okay. Well, coming out in just 3 weeks. Look forward to that. That's going to be really, really good.
And the documentary guys behind Tiger King, and then there's currently they just did Chimp Crazy that I think is on HBO right now.
Okay.
They're really good. What do you call them? Documentarians or whatever you want to call them. So it should be really well made.
I know I saw somebody in the chat mention they're like, oh, Bill Simmons, I hate that guy. But Bill Simmons, he's the guy behind 30 for 30. He was the original guy behind 30 for 30 on ESPN. And that was a monster set of documentaries that really took ESPN out of the traditional sports business in the late 2010s into a documentary business where they have an entire arm of 30 for 30s now. And 30 for 30 is a major brand for ESPN. And he was the mastermind behind all that. So if Bill Simmons is involved, whether you like him or not, it's probably going to be good. It's probably going to be good. We'll see. Hey, Benjamin came in and says, your daughter, Gregory, should make a funny monster design for a t-shirt. I don't know, like a domo origato-esque creature saying, we're just normal, man. Thanks, Benjamin. Appreciate that. Maybe she can draw the dog. Commodore fan says, when are we getting a wrestling show, Craig? Yeah, I know. It's on the things to do list. The idea was eventually to have a wrestling show. As a matter of fact, we already have a logo for the brand. Pitter came in and says, evening from Poland. Let's go, my Polacks. Love that. And Thomas says, if you stick to the quest that take you to the handcrafted areas, Starfield is like any other Bethesda game. Personally, I find it enjoyable. Well, thanks, Thomas. Appreciate that. And you know what? You can find it enjoyable. As a matter of fact, I hope you do find it enjoyable. Christian Rocker came in and picked up the MGGA hat. Says, I live in Alabama. I'll be safe wearing this. Contrary to popular belief, not everyone is retarded and married to family. All right. Well, thanks, Christian Rocker. Enjoy the hat. Thank you so much for your support. All right, let's move on to another story, which I think this is a quick hit, but it is very interesting to say the least, given kind of where we're at with video game consoles today, specifically with the Switch. I love Nintendo. I think Nintendo is they have great products, right? They spend a lot of time on their games, especially their first party games and their consoles. You know, we've had the PC versus console debate, and I think Nintendo is in a class of its own. Nintendo sells Nintendo games, right? Eric, have you heard a whole lot about the Switch 2 and the rumors associated with this?
I'm just waiting for spec announcements and release date stuff. Right?
Well, this is quite the rumor here, as apparently the Switch 2 will offer backwards compatibility support. And
better.
I think that's actually pretty freaking cool. So they're planning to announce it this financial year. And this is according to insider Nate the Hate, who has a track record of breaking prior news to its official announcement. Responding to speculation that Switch 2 may have entered mass production, he said in a Reddit post, it has backwards compatibility support. So this is earlier this year, Switch peripheral maker MobaPad also claimed Nintendo's next console will have backwards compatibility with physical and digital games. So I would imagine that does not include anything prior to the Switch. But I think that's a pretty cool idea. You know, the idea.
Honestly, I would have just thought that this would have been the norm. Like, if they didn't have backwards compatibility for the previous Switch, I think many people would have been like, fuck that, no thanks.
Yeah, I feel like it would be a deal breaker if it wasn't that, because so many Switch games. There's so many Switch games. And just being able to, that's the fun thing about the Switch is it's old cart kind of system. You can just pop in a new card and play the game. So being able to do that with the new console is a must-have.
Yeah, and if you think about it, even like the previous consoles had backwards compatibility, like the Wii U with the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
So it just, I don't know. I'm not surprised. It's a good move personally, because obviously, like we're just saying, it would have been shit otherwise. Yeah.
And the Wii was backwards compatible to GameCube if you had the that version of it.
I sadly never had a GameCube, so it had no purpose for me. But yeah. You good, Craig?
Well, I think that anytime you have the ability to play your what? Am
I don't know. I think you're a little delay. Yeah, you just had a little delay just there.
Okay. Well, bummer. Let me just kind of move around a little bit so I get caught up. This is why we're going to do the show in person eventually. We're going to eventually do the show in person. No delays in person. But I think anytime you have an opportunity to play, right. Anytime you have the opportunity to play your back catalog on a console, I think is a very, very good thing. So yeah, I think that's kind of where it's at. So I am on board with any sort of backwards compatibility, and I fully embrace our Nintendo overlords.
Really? Do you though?
Most of the time.
Really? Wasn't there a thing about them like saying if you stream some sort of like inappropriate thing with Nintendo, you're banned or like for life? Wasn't there something like that in the news lately? I don't know about that, but like That's some dictatorship from Nintendo, if true.
There is dictatorship in every single company that you
Oh,
like. and
I
support.
agree, but at the same time, like, I'm not gonna be like, I love our Nintendo awards. I won't say that.
Let's say when I say that, I use that obviously as a gross generalization. I don't actually I'm not going to
Greg's
support.
like, please smack me harder, Nintendo, Daddy.
yes.
Thank you.
That's right. Please, Miyamoto-san, smack me, smack me down, Daddy. Gross. No, but I love their games, and like I know that I'm not alone when it comes to that stuff. And yes, there are so many things about Nintendo which they work in an archaic world sometimes where it's like the internet doesn't exist. With that said, they also have done things with the internet that other companies have copied, mainly like the Nintendo Direct. They totally cut E3 out of their equation, and they have a way to deliver news as they deem fit and whenever they deem fit. And you know what? It works without the idea of a physical event, without spending, tens of, hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of dollars in marketing, where they can just deliver it however they want to do. And you know what? Same results. Have I caught up, Blabs? Am I good?
Yes.
so.
Just mentally retarded. That's all. It's fine.
Good point. Excellent point. All right. Let's move on. We got, hey, Blast, speaking of retards, I don't know if you saw the news this morning, and this has been rumored for a while, but Warner Brothers, who will strike down anything if you talk about them, this came down today, that a Hogwarts Legacy sequel is one of Warner Brothers.
Oh, that's yesterday's news.
Oh, sorry, never mind. My fault. Moving on.
Better have Quidditch.
Yeah. That was yesterday's news, and it's nothing actually new because they have confirmed it months ago that they were actually doing it. Now they're just saying it's a big priority. It's like, okay, but you guys couldn't even get your Hogwarts Legacy in a row. It's supposed to be Hogwarts Legacy, and only like 10 hours of the actual main plot is in Hogwarts. Just saying, get it together.
My bad. Sorry, Blabs.
Is it a legacy?
Yeah, right. Is it a legacy though? That wasn't really much of a legacy.
Are you upset that they're making a sequel to what you feel is a mediocre game?
Well, they can only go up, I think. I hope. You know what? I take that back. They could go horribly wrong too.
They made a ton of money, so
they made a shit ton of money. But like, I was listening to the Gronking guys, and they made a great point saying that it was the first open world Wizarding World video game ever that people wanted for over a decade, and that is so true. I was like, that's right. Yeah. So I think they're gonna have to do like a whole lot of work on this game to really appease people. Because they already got what they wanted the first time, right? So they're gonna have to like step it up a lot, I think, personally.
Right. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We've talked a lot about games that people don't like on our show, but I do think it's very important to highlight games that I think are doing it right and that could potentially be exactly what the doctor ordered. We've seen Sony with some big L's, right? We've seen obviously Concord is the biggest of L's. It's not a capital L; it's a gigantic mega L when it comes to the losses associated with Concord, the idea of acquiring the company, then, investing literally hundreds of millions of dollars in the development of it. But a game that also was announced the same time as Concord, which I would say, I'm not going to say it's been under the radar, but it's kind of been, people have kind of watched from afar, I guess is the best way to say, is the game Astro Bot. Now, Astro Bot also has a PS5 controller that's being released for it, and there's been a little bit more marketing along the way for it, and it is coming out very, very soon. And this is pointed out over by Genki over on X. It says Astro Bot, developed in just 3 years with 65 developers, about 12 to 15 hours to beat, 6 galaxies and 80 levels, universal appeal, focus on gameplay, creativity, and quality. And he says, I would like to see more games like this from PlayStation. Now, the reviews are out for this. IGN came out and they gave it a 9. Wow. A 9. It says Astro Bot is particularly special for anyone with a place in their heart for PlayStation, but it's a fantastically inventive platformer in its own right. So Astro Bot is a collection of endlessly inventive levels and fantastically fun abilities. It delivers joy in spades, never once becoming even remotely dull or repetitive. And here's the thing that's interesting for Nintendo fans. Says they have crafted a mascot platformer that goes near enough toe to toe with Nintendo's best efforts, and that's pretty crazy to see. Do you have any interest in this, Eric?
I mean, I know my daughter does. She played when I think there was an Astro Bot game that came with my PS5. Like when you boot it up, there's just an installed little Astro Bot mini game kind of thing, and she beat that. Well, it took her like an hour or two. So I mean, it's a cute character. It's got platforming stuff. PlayStation never really had a mascot, so there you go.
Right? Yeah. Well, I'm actually very intrigued. I've seen some gameplay of this, and I actually watched Victor Lucas, who is from Electric Playground. I don't know if you've seen them. They're still around, by the way. And he had a review for it, and he gushed over the game, just absolutely gushed over the game for a good while, talking about it, specifically like comparing it to Mario 64 and Mario Galaxy. And the gameplay of it, very much like it looks like there's elements of Mario Sunshine in it. This looks like a Mario game without Mario in it, if I'm being totally honest with you. And that is, for me, as a guy who loves Mario games, seems very intriguing to Astro Bot. And on top of that, there's no agenda. The agenda is fun. And you know what? Embrace that. Like, I love that. And this game appears to be a love letter to those who love PlayStation, with references and appearances from Kratos and Nathan Drake and other characters along the way, which I think is very, very cool, with little skins and stuff for Astro Bot. So
it's only available for PlayStation 5, yes?
Yes, but there is talk of it potentially being released for Steam later down the line. And I think that if that happens, I will 100% go in and buy it for Steam, because this seems right up my alley.
What you're saying is Sony actually has one exclusive game for PlayStation 5 for a change?
Yeah, and it may go to Steam.
Yeah. Another side note, the controller that Logan, Red Bandana Gaming, was trying to get a couple weeks ago, wasn't it this Astro Bot controller?
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
Correct.
We'll have to see from him if it's any good, that controller.
Yeah. But you can see in this, like, this very much looks like Mario Galaxy when it comes to like the setup of the gameplay, and that you have.
Is that an onion in the middle?
It's a home base, but you fly from place to place just like Mario Galaxy. You land, and it's super colorful and fun, and you got little mini games and stuff in there. But as you go on, I mean, if this doesn't look like Mario Galaxy, I don't know what does. This looks exactly like Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, you know what it also gives a little bit of vibes of? Now, I've never played this other game that I'm about to mention, but it kind of gives like Animal Crossing a little bit. Just a tiny bit.
From a color perspective. Yeah. Well, I mean, Animal Crossing is kind of its own unique game. Own unique thing. But I just as
like, even not the gameplay, obviously, but like just the color scheme, I guess. Kind of Animal Crossing.
Well, I mean, it's colorful, it's bright. Like when I think video games, this is kind of what I'm looking for. I want colorful, bright, fun, quirky. And you notice as you go and this is just as it says, the first 12 minutes of gameplay, you notice that there's elements of this that certainly tie into like what was happening. Like there's a little reference, like a double jump, but it looks very similar to what you'd see in Mario Sunshine with the water being squirted down, and with the so and as you're going through, you're looking to collect other little robots, i.e. like your stars in Mario 64
or Yoshis.
Yeah, or moons in Mario Odyssey, right? And that's kind of the objective of all this. So this for me, even this, like you see elements of that, like in Mario, I think pretty much all the Mario games where there's pulling and things like that. So holy crap, even this looks like Mario Galaxy. Is he going to jump off this? Okay, no, it spun it up there. Okay, that's fun. So I don't know, Eric, as you're seeing gameplay of this, does this excite you at all?
I mean, it's fun.
Is this the type of game that you're into?
It's not the type of game I'm into, but I know my daughter. She Super Mario Galaxy was the first game she ever beat, so something like this is right up her alley.
Nice.
It's charming.
Yeah, it's cute.
Mhm.
It'll be interesting to see what the boss fights are like, because that's really where the platformers.
Well, I got an
Most
Xbox.
of the levels kind of have the same thing with the mechanics.
That's
so
funny in Xbox.
figuring
app
out how to
for
beat the
PlayStation.
bosses is the fun part of the game.
Right. I got an Xbox ad in the middle of my PlayStation video.
They're like, wait, don't forget us.
Wait. Okay. Question for the chat. Does that look fun to you? Is that something that you'd be interested in? Because that seems to me like when we talk about Concord and everything else associated with it, like this is exactly what we want from video games. I think this is spectacular and fun. And if you're going to support something, you should absolutely support a game like this. As somebody is coming in my door, it's Mom. Hey, thanks, Mom. Appreciate
Hi,
that. my mom has showed up at my house with Raising Canes for me. Wonderful.
Well, last time it was pizza, so
Yeah,
can't
she
always
always,
get everything.
she always ends up showing up with food. It's great. That's why I can't lose any weight. One other thing that's worth noticing is the marketing campaign for Astro Bot, specifically in Hong Kong. Blabs, you talked about how at Gamescom in Germany there was no booth babes.
No, none.
Well, in Hong Kong, apparently marketing is a little bit different.
Hey, look at that.
Check that out.
Eric's like, I will buy this game now for myself.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I was just about to say, I'm buying the game now.
Let's go. All right. All it took was a couple girls in dresses for Eric to be like, I'm in. Let's go.
Where do I pre-order?
That's right.
Do they come with the pre-order?
Well, there you go. So congratulations to Astro Bot. I think it's gonna sell very well. And my insider, I was talking to them about the pre-orders of the game, and they said that the number of pre-orders is drastically higher than the other, obviously Concord, even Star Wars Outlaws. So Astro Bot is performing is on pace to perform better than Star Wars Outlaws is. So
We're shocked.
That's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah,
it is crazy to think about that. A Star Wars game is not doing well, and like some random Astro Bot IP does better.
This could be
a question though. Who are they marketing Astro Bot for?
I think the idea is that they're marketing it to the PlayStation fan.
Just
like
any PlayStation fan.
It's meant to be a someone who has an affinity to the Sony PlayStation brand. That's who this is supposed to be for, right? And I got to be honest, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Because that's one thing that Sony is lacking. Actually, we had a story which I didn't open where they were talking about how Sony needs more IPs. They need to own more IPs, and I think this is a great first step. Like once again, go back, Eric. Give me all the Sony mascots that they've had over the years.
Oh, I mean, they had Crash, Spyro, Kratos. I mean, all those are not really Sony. A lot of those are like Naughty Dog.
Right. And, exactly.
Third party. It's like when you think of Nintendo, Mario is Nintendo's mascot, but there's also like Zelda and Kid Icarus and all the like anybody that's in Smash kind of thing. Like I would say Crash is like Zelda to Nintendo, as you remember playing Crash on the PlayStation 2, but it wasn't necessarily anything that Sony had control of. It was just a popular game on that system.
I 100% agree. Whereas Nintendo has owned Mario, they own their IPs, and they own their mascots, right? You mentioned Kratos, Nathan Drake, Ratchet and Clank for a short time. Parappa the Rappa was a mascot for Sony for a short time. Sackboy, they tried to throw out Sackboy for the PlayStation 3, and it was like, okay,
Yeah. I mean, Sackboy is probably the closest thing to Astro Bot, but I don't think it ever had the appeal.
Yeah. Even Lara Croft. Lara Croft was a mascot in the PlayStation 1 era. So yeah, but if Astro Boy is going to be their mascot, cool, awesome, I love it. Let's move forward with it and let's own it and not give it one game to figure it out. I mean, really dig into it. I know they tried with Sackboy and they had their Little Big Planet games and they performed fine, but I don't think he was truly ever embraced as the mascot. I think you nailed it in that he was the mascot maybe for that generation. So all right.
Kind of reminds me of Eva a little bit from Wall-E.
I can see that. I can see that. Delta came in with the 1, says, no Sony mascot. What about Sackboy and the beloved character Knack from the hit series Knack? That's right. We forgot about Knack. Sony needs to bring back Knack when Astro Boy is forgotten for the PlayStation 6/portable. Thanks, Delta. Yes, Knack was a Knack. That's great. That's good stuff. Fluffy Pro came in and says, coming to you live from Target. All copies of Concord are gone and they switched tags out for Madden. Oh, no. Thanks, Fluffy Pro. Appreciate that. Uriah says, and yet PlayStation decided to shut down Japan Studio for no reasons. Thanks, Uriah. Appreciate that. Soon as Soul Silver came in and says, Nintendo Direct was a game changer to the industry. It's the reason why Hoyoverse games are so popular with their marketing live streams. Thanks. So thanks, Soul Silver. Appreciate that. That is great. Okay, let's move on. We've talked a lot about Concord on the channel. We've talked about, I mean, this has been an ongoing topic for the last, really since it was announced. In the last 2 weeks, it's been a fever pitch up until Tuesday when it was announced that this game was going to fail miserably. And it did fail miserably to the point of shutting the game down and offering refunds. It's just, Eric, have you ever seen anything like this in the video game industry?
Yeah, I can't believe it got a shelf life. Was it less than a week?
10 days, wasn't it?
10 days, a week and a half?
Eric, hold up your fingers real quick. Now count them.
10.
That's how many days it got. It got 10 days. Now, there have been a lot of factors when it comes to why the game failed, right? It didn't offer anything original, right? But my argument from the start is when it comes to the first impression, you only get one chance. And this game made a horrible first impression from the second it was announced. People looked at it and they're like, what is happening? And then as it came out, it made a horrible second impression as you got a chance to look at the characters a little deeper. And that has been a constant theme as people talk about go broke. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's definitely an element to it. Definitely an element to it. But once again, the character design in this was horrendous. So people have gone in and they've actually modified the look of these characters via AI and given them what people think would have been a more successful look to these characters. So with that said, I'm going to show you the original version of this. And then I'm going to show you what AI did to make, I'm going to say, a better version of this character. So this is obviously probably one of the big, and by the way, this is a guy, by the way, in this game. This is a dude. Did you know that, Eric?
Wow.
I mean,
yeah, sure. Okay.
We'll go with that.
This was a dude in the game. A dude with a fupa and old man
if it's
pants.
a dude, it's a dick do.
It's a what? What?
It's a dick do.
A dick do?
Yeah, his belly sticks out further than his dick do.
Got it. I thought you were going to say, I thought you wanted me to ask, what's a dick do? And then that was the tie into the joke there.
Oh boy.
There you go. Anyway, so here it is before, and here it is after. Before, after. Okay. So there's number one right there. The question is, would you be more inclined to play this game or this game here?
I feel like one
second one
is bigger than the other.
I'm sorry, what's that, Blabs?
I think one of the tits is bigger than the other. Like, I think it's just the angle, right? Obviously.
That happens, though.
That's true.
Yeah. As pointed out in the chat, the gender was changed in there. Yeah, so it was a gender swap along the way. Okay, so there's one. We have another example here. Going back to, this is a different character, I believe, but also still fat in the game. We all know this character that we've seen. I don't even know who the names of these characters. And
isn't it like Emery or something like that? Imari?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's not going to exist, right? It doesn't matter.
Nobody cares.
Past tomorrow, right? So we got that, and then we have this, right? Scantily clad women. Blabs, breast size. What are we looking at here? Are they about the same?
Those look about the same, yeah.
Okay, good.
I thought you were like, what do you want me to do? Take a measuring tape and be like, she's a size E?
But once again, we have this one over here versus this one. Okay, right? AI doing God's
the
work here.
psychology of it. What draws your eyes in?
Yeah,
right.
I agree. I agree. Then we have this one is just a side by side before and after. We saw this weird troll looking character, which with the purple hair, it had unique, like we saw a legendary outfit in it, which looked like she was going to go clean some, I don't know, clean a hallway or something. It was really weird. But this character, the side by side here.
Oh God!
What has she got in her mouth?
I don't know, but does it matter? Like, does it?
A little bit.
But
what is that haircut on the left?
That's a real character.
Pretty hilarious.
It's a real character right there. All right. So we have the design on the left, which was the real design. Then we have the AI version of the design on the right. Right. And yeah, we'll just say that's bubblegum on the right. Sure, why not? Right. Maybe it's a
Sorry,
pacifier.
I thought it was a ring pop for a second.
I don't know. But and maybe it is. Okay. So we've had 3 examples here. And this is probably the most important. I think this is the biggest one. The biggest example right here. Say the best for last along the way. We have this character, which has popped up.
Yes.
This is the black trans character here, the knife wielding stabber in the game with the purple hair and the crazy glasses.
And oppressed. Don't forget she, she is oppressed. Don't forget that.
Yes, the oppressed version, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have this version. How fucking badass is that? Like, that's a badass character right there. I think that's spectacular. And I don't know. I mean, I think that's amazing. So I don't know. Your thoughts on that, Blabs, as you're seeing the different characters here?
I mean, I think obviously people would be more appealed to play the game and more attracted to the game, but ultimately the game also just had really bad gameplay. So even if the characters look great and it's still not fun, I feel like the game would have just flopped anyway. Regardless, I think they are vast improvements, obviously, but I think gameplay really does hit it on the nail.
Well, sure. I think it 100%. But I think the bigger question is, had the designs looked like this from the start?
Oh, yeah. People would have been more interested for sure. Yeah.
And would the game, because you got to get people in the door first, right? So the question is, would you be more inclined to play with Fatty Fatu over here? Or
the Fupa.
Right, with the Fupa, right? Yeah, Fatty Fupa over here, right? With the pants over.
Oh yeah, everyone's going towards the AI for sure. It's like which way Western man, and there's 2 options. They're all gonna go to the AI version.
Right, but the bigger question is would this game lasted longer than 10 days? And I think it 100% would have lasted over.
People
10
would be
days.
more attracted to it. I just wonder how did it only last 10 days? There must have been so few pre-orders that they just cut their losses before. Like, you'd think they'd at least give it a month. Maybe they had a server deal and said, if you cancel within now, you get your money back or something. So,
you know,
a 90-day trial on their servers.
There may be
cancel now.
Yeah, there may be something to that. There legitimately may be something to the idea that there was a trial period, or if they got out before this. Because I thought that they were gonna you sign a year deal, and and it's gonna go for that long. But that is nuts. Speaking of Concord, right? The idea of if they knew it was gonna fail, right? Going back to my insider, this tells you how bad it was. My insider's been wonderful when it comes to this knowledge. I talked about this a couple days ago, that in June, July, and August, they had only 231 pre-orders company-wide. Now, this is over 900 stores. 91 of them were canceled before the shutdown of the game, right? So they had 1 pre-order for every 6 stores. That's how Sony knew.
Is this just like an Overwatch clone too? Is that what kind of gameplay is it?
Yeah, it's more or less a 5v5 shooter.
Like 5v5 shooter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it goes back to, when you look at the player base for this, the player base is literally nothing right now. the player base over on Concord, as I speak to you right now, a game that was pushed by Sony has 48 players in it. 48 playing Concord on Steam right now. Right? And now this game, you would think there'd be a little spike. And going back to the all-time peak of less than 700, you think they'd all be rushing to play the game to finish it up, as it's going to be shut down tomorrow, right? So I go back to the idea of, if these characters look like that and their design is like that early on, hey, guess what? There's still a ton of diversity in that, all right? You have a black character, you have your Asian character, you have, and they're all women. Awesome, great. But they look appealing to the male gaze. Guess what? Congratulations. I've talked about this a million times. 80% of the console audience, probably more, is dudes, right?
Sex sells.
Yes. And you got to get people in the door first to try your chicken, and in this place, you got a restaurant that sells chicken. You got to get people in the door. If your restaurant looks like trash, it's dirty, you're not going to go in and check it out. Well, guess what? The restaurant looked like trash and it was dirty, so nobody played Concord. But if you have these uber sexy hot girls with knives and cool outfits that accentuate the female body, and you're selling it to dudes, guess what? The dudes are probably going to go inside and try your chicken. Just throwing it out there.
You got to create characters that dudes want to date, right? If they're not attractive, there's a lot of weird guys out there, and they're like, oh, they don't get girls, and they need to live vicariously with the digital life, right? They'll fall in love with a game character when they learn about it, and they want to play it as that character and experience and spend time with that character. They get thirsty. You got to give them something to thirst after.
You got to give people the ability to want to play your game first and foremost. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. And I put this tweet out again, and I'm going to probably do this for the foreseeable future, definitely until Concord shuts down tomorrow, which is the foreseeable future. I've said this a million times. The modern audience doesn't exist. I put this tweet out. It says, "Good morning to the modern audience and everyone else playing Black Myth Wukong," which, once again, here's Dustborn, here's Concord, here's Black Myth Wukong. So, it's just one of those things. It's amazing. It's amazing to see, to say the least. We talked about how Concord is no longer being sold at these retailers, and it's being recalled. So it's kind of one of those things. Now, I do want to talk about the reception to this being shut down. And I saw this tweet, and I think it's important to let you know, this is the senior material artist at PlayStation Studios. Okay. He had this tweet out here. Once again, him. Oh, I don't want to misgender Hugh over here. So he said, "We'll always be proud of what was accomplished for myself, the Firewalk, and the PSVA team." Right now, the reason why I wanted to highlight this tweet was because I feel like this really showcases kind of the bubble that these people are in when it comes to the response from folks. And Commander over here says every 3D artist should be, it's more so his response to the response to this right here. It says every 3D artist, rule of thumb, always be proud of your work, even if it wasn't a commercial success. The game still looks gorgeous and done. Thank you, blah, 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 blah. This guy's laughing, lol, right? And this guy says, whatever that means, Dawes got great materials. I wonder who helped make it. So this person is in charge of this look here. Once again, this is the FUPA person. But this one right here is probably the most interesting thing. Says, let me give you advice from one developer to another. Praising yourself is seen as disrespectful and tacky. It's always better to let others acknowledge your achievements, right? And in response to this, he literally just laughed. Well, okay, right? I think that, I don't know, shouldn't praise come from other people in a situation like this?
Be humble.
Yep. Yeah. It just seems very, very out of touch.
It's a bubble. They live in a bubble.
Yes, their developer bubble. Let's go to the lead character designer, by the way. of this game. This is the lead character designer at Firewalk Studios. Okay, and this was for Concord here. Shark Eats Man. By the way, no pronouns. I don't know how to announce him along the way, or them, or they, or her, or person. This Firewalk is packed with tenacious fighters, multiple acquisitions, an engine upgrade, global pandemic, project delays. The fact we shipped at all is legendary. None of us know what's next, but I do know the team is capable of wild energy when faced with a challenge, right? And naturally, this is a lot of like, well, we face so much adversity. You see this all the time when it comes to, sports in particular. We lost a game. We had so much adversity along the way. Now we're seeing this in this professional environment with video games. We had a global pandemic, and we had delays, and acquisitions. By the way, one of those acquisitions was Firewalk Studios. Just want to point that out. You got acquired, and you probably made some money from this. It's amazing to see, and there is some great responses to this. Obviously, he's only responded to the positive ones, but the fastest shutdown of game was pretty legendary, to be honest. And this guy, I think, nails it. Says gamers don't want to hear about the struggle of development. It doesn't matter how hard it was or what challenges you went through. All we care about is the end result. You were in charge of these character designs, and you didn't do your job. Heavy is the hand that wears heavy is the head that wears the crowd, right? There's an old saying, Eric, that I first heard Bill Parcells say, and people are going to see it as insensitive, but I really don't care. Talking about pregnancy and really just the end result. He says, don't tell me about the pain, just show me the baby, right? People don't really care about the journey. They just want to see the end result. And I think in this end result, Concord will ultimately go down as one of the biggest failures in video game history. Are you like this person, that guy Pyros, who says gamers don't care about the struggle of development? Your thoughts on that?
And just make us a good game. Like the fact that the game didn't even last 2 weeks. You've seen all these tweets that are saying, oh, don't worry, you guys made a great game. You'll be able to move past this. Like if they made a great game, it wouldn't be dead in the water. And I think he replied to that. You made a great game, saying thank you.
It's like thanks. You're right.
Listen
it's
to
so
your
good.
critics too. Don't just listen to the people that are blowing smoke up your ass.
I think this goes back to
as the developer.
Right. I think this goes back to the severe disconnect that you see when it comes to the developers. And they're, look, we all put our head down sometimes when we're working, and we don't pick it up to kind of hear the outside noise, right? And sometimes that's a good thing, right? But in a situation like this where you can't put your head down for 8 years and have your, have your blinders on and have your ears and your fingers going la 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 la. And I think that's what happened with Concord.
Yeah, I wonder what they thought when Overwatch 2 bombed. When the sequel to the game they're trying to clone. Did everybody just go back to Overwatch, right? After Overwatch 2 failed?
Yeah.
You got to think like, well, you got to make something better than the game you're trying to emulate, or even, I don't know. It's just, it's an insane story that they spent $200 million in a game so 10 days of release. So that's what, $20 million a day is what it cost for the game to be in live. Didn't
even like do the math on that. Right. Thanks, lady gamer loons, as Concord is a missed hentai opportunity. Benjamin says heavy is the man that bears the fupa. Let's go. Jason says she learned to use a knife opening boxes. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Absolutely right. Says wait till they dig up Astro Bot's old tweets. Right. Thank you. That's good stuff. Okay, we have apparently breaking news from Blabs. What do we have, Blabs?
You gotta play the thing, Craig. This is worthy.
Okay. But this is from the private chat. Blab says, I have breaking news. Breaking news straight from Blabs doing the producer thing. What do we got, Blabs?
Dr. Disrespect just posted stuff.
Oh, we're going to talk about this? Okay, sounds good. What do we got?
All right. This is a 2-minute video. Apparently. Anyway, but just let it play.
Okay, let's check it out. wonder what buoys he's passing are there. I'm sure they say something on it.
Bombs in the water.
Man, his production's spectacular.
It is.
I don't know. I wonder how much this cost.
Right? How much money does this guy have?
I mean, millions.
Chat's like, is he running from Epstein Island?
Or maybe he's on his way. Who knows?
Is this actually real? Like, did he actually get a speedboat?
No. This is definitely CG. 100%.
He's brushing his mustache.
Are you sure?
I mean, it looks great.
I think this might actually be real. I think he got a camera and just on a boat.
It looks like he's in a cockpit.
There's no, yeah, it does, but there's no way. He looks like he's in a car and all. This is totally.
I mean, I think
conspiracy.
this is fake. So like him actually, like he might have been in some boat. And they
Oh,
created
sure,
it.
yeah. He was in a set, yeah. Okay, well, let's get to the point here. What are we doing here?
We're getting there.
Okay. So he pulls up to the island.
Oh yeah, this is all CG.
It says
so-
weather.
Pulling up to the arena. That's his thing. Is the arena. I can hear Beardo squealing right now.
Yeah, his personality has come
Are you sure
back
his mic's
alive.
on?
Okay, so he's going back. That's all. He's going back to the arena.
There's also one other tweet he made too.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute.
We're just getting started.
Okay, so he's back tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But
all right.
And he'll
here's
be
his
playing
other
Concord.
tweet.
Yeah.
Where's he coming from? Let me zoom this in for you guys. Where's he coming from? Epstein Island. It's a PDF, not a doc. He blocked me. Let me take a screenshot and post.
Okay.
You gotta wonder, like, what is he playing?
What's he playing?
Yeah, because, like, dude.
He's playing chess and everyone else is playing checkers.
Well,
That's what.
I'm, like, I don't understand where's he coming from. Like, does he have receipts of everything?
Well, he has to.
I mean, will he
He's gotta have
address
his own
them?
chat logs?
Yeah, maybe. But once again, this goes back to the original idea of this whole conversation with Dr. Disrespect. He's not the only one who, like, those chat logs that they had with Twitch. Twitch does not want them released. Of course he
Exactly.
doesn't, because it'd be a huge domino effect. And at the end of the day, like, whether Dr. Disrespect did bad things or not, the ultimate bad guy in this whole thing, it may be Dr. Disrespect, but the ultimate bad guy, I think, is also Twitch. Twitch is a
Equally.
shit platform. There's
Yeah.
a reason why we're not on Twitch, because it's a shit platform.
I mean, Kick is also shit too. Let's be real.
Of course, which, by the way, follow us over at kick.com/sidescrollers. But that's the idea, you know, like, there's 0% chance Twitch wants those released. And if they were to release them, holy shit. You know,
I think they're equally guilty then. If everything is true and he was actually borderline inappropriate, that's his words, you know, talking to a minor, then yeah, him and Twitch, guilty, sir, guilty.
I guess we'll see.
Mm.
I
Do you
guess
think
we'll
he's
see.
come back and just be like, nothing ever happened, just keep going?
No, I think he certainly will address it. And I think that's what this whole story that he's developed has been around.
Is
you know?
actually saying, hi, I'm
Right.
dropping something tomorrow, be there, be square.
Right.
He's got to do some damage control.
100%. And I think you'll see a groundswell of support around him initially. And that's like his most hardcore people, right? Will go in and support him. And I think other people will look at the clips that he say. They're going to watch that with just scour through every detail of what he says. So he needs to be very meticulous on the things that he says along the way.
Mm-hmm.
What's it been? It's been 2 months since he left. Is it?
I think more than that.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Wasn't like
The end
June
of
or
June.
something?
I think it was the end of June. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. We'll see kind of what happens tomorrow. So Dr. Disrespect back at it tomorrow. Will he respond? Who knows? But once again, we're playing right into what he wants. We're talking about it. And it is what it is. So Rab says, any thoughts on DSP admitting down from the rafters? I saw the video. I guess we'll talk about that here in a little bit. I'm over on DSP stream. John says, Knack was a terrible game, but Knack 2, oh my God, masterpiece, 10 out of 5. Thanks, John. And Delta says Sony devs are out of touch. Remember, it was Naughty Dog and Ubisoft Assassin's Creed devs who mocked Elden Ring for its UI and accessibility as being backwards. Yeah, well, how's that Elden Ring doing right now? Doing pretty damn good. All right.
Might have something in the comments about Doc. What platform is he going to be on? Because he's demonetized on YouTube.
Oh. Maybe he will be on YouTube anyway.
I wonder if he's just going to do stream.
All the super chats. Oh, wait, but he is demonetized. Never mind. I don't know.
So can I kind of give you my thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm.
I think that he will be announcing his own platform. I think that I bet what he does is he uses YouTube. I bet he streams everywhere that he can. And I bet he uses it as a funnel to his own platform and say like, hey, you want to support me? Do it on the arena or whatever it is domain. And that's what he's been doing, you know, whether it's Rumble, whether it's Kick, whether it's YouTube, whatever, he will eventually funnel that way. I think that probably makes the most sense. So I can't believe I missed this. And what a big fuckhead I am as Lieutenant Siver came in with a $50 Rumble rant. Says Blabs did okay. Never saw the movie. Never played the game. Never played the movie game for the normal men and the big old or the tig old biddies right there. Siver, thank you so much. That is spectacular. Talking about, I imagine that's Street Fighter, the movie, the game right there. Hey, Siver, thank you so much for that. That is beyond generous. Look at that. Look at that. My God. B. Barrett says, because Dan posted the rant, he got his entire country banned from Twitter. Talking about
Brazil with Twitter.
It's his fault.
Yes. Reek came in and says, imagine Vince walking around with a shitty butt. but the whole other section of the Kiss My Ass Club that's reserved for the chocolate kiss. Grocery. Thank you for that. Grocery. That's good. Mighty Megatron came in and says, Sony and the PlayStation was initially going to have their own mascot. Prior to PlayStation coming out, it was some spiked head purple dude. Not sure what happened. And eventually they went to Crash. I never saw the spiked head purple dude, the Sony PlayStation guy. Bob, please see if you can find that original Sony PlayStation mascot. Mighty Megatron says, just leave manly men for shooter games and put chicks in cooking and sin games. And Mongoose says, I wish I could go back to Overwatch. Overwatch was shut down for Overwatch 2. Okay. Thank you, Mongoose. Appreciate that. All right, let's continue on. I think it's
the Polygon dude.
I don't know. See if you...
Oh, this is him.
Oh, yeah. That's the guy. Yeah. Yeah, I think he was also... that was actually the boss in PlayStation All-Stars. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. I think that was a pretty fun game back in the day. You know who the best mascot of all time was? For
Alex
Sony?
Kidd.
What's that?
Alex.
No, sorry. For PlayStation. You know who the best mascot of all time was? I'm going to tell you this right now. Kevin Butler. Kevin Butler was the greatest PlayStation mascot of all time. And you're going to know exactly who this person is the second you see him, because this guy owned PlayStation. They should have stayed with this guy. Remember this guy here? Boom. Kevin Butler.
Oh, yeah, the commercial guy.
Yeah, he was awesome. Kevin Butler.
They used to make such great commercials back in the day. Now everything just kind of unoriginal.
Yeah, man, Kevin Butler was the god.
I liked how one of those pictures had related products underneath it, and it was just a bunch of generic guys in suits.
He was the PlayStation PlayStation. He was the VP of like everything. The VP of epic footage, VP of marketing, VP of whatever, VP of whatever. Just put VP in front of anything. That's what Kevin Butler was. He was a great marketing campaign back in the day. Okay, we're running tight on time, so I think it's important that we do kind of address something else that's in our title, and that is the stupidity that is going on YouTube right now between the traditional Star Wars fans who will gobble it all up versus the fans who love Star Wars but may not necessarily love Disney Star Wars. And this came out yesterday. I don't know who this person is. Blabs, why don't you give us a little background on this Molly person?
She's one half of Star Wars Explained. The best thing to do would be to actually pull up this tweet. This tweet explains her and her husband to the T. This is courtesy of Lethal Lightning. This is her and her husband.
Okay.
So that gives you all that you need to know about this power couple. They run a Star Wars YouTube channel. They basically kiss the ass of Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni. They think everything is amazing. They are your typical SJW massive Star Wars fan.
Is
And they
her
hate
what's her husband's name?
You know, I don't even remember because he's the cuck, so nobody really pays attention.
Well, it is important to know that Molly is, in fact, a she, her, as she will let you know in there. So good for her. Anyways.
At least you know that one, right?
Right. And this is important. So here we are. We have this this post here, and I think it's important to kind of to read it as best as we possibly can. By the way, let's go. I read this, but it didn't dawn on me. Check this out. So they're writing an article to YouTube here, and I think this is great right off the bat. Dear Team YouTube, last week actor Amandla Steinberg, she, they put her pronouns,
personal, like multiple personalities and everything.
It took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words before they virtue signaled, before they let you know the pronouns right off the bat. And the question here's another really important thing. They did not put Milo Yiannopoulos' pronouns in it. They didn't put anyone else's. They didn't put Ryan Kinnell's in it.
I hope he's offended. He's come out multiple times, hasn't he, as a trans or something like that?
Yes, absolutely. Like, how could they not do that? What a bunch of hateful bigots. Unreal. Anyways, they came out.
Did they do Kelly Marie trans pronouns?
Good point. I don't know if they're in this, if it's in this along the way. Let's find out. But
Kelly's never been about the whole pronoun thing.
Where's it at? I don't. Well, either way, we do see them right here.
Or Leslie Jones.
Great point. Excellent here, Leslie Jones. I don't know.
Let's be honest.
All right. Well, so is in here. They says, as fans of the Star Wars franchise, we have tirelessly witnessed a handful of YouTube creators continuously drive prolonged insults and harassment at marginalized actors and members of our community. Enough is enough. The Star Wars fandom demands that YouTube enforces its community guidelines against, quote, prolonged insults and incitement of targeted harassment towards women of color by demonetizing YouTube channels Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kinnell, and Nerdrotic. Here are the facts. In 2018, Geeks and Gamers encouraged harassment against Vietnamese American actor Kelly Marie Tran, leading up to trans departure from Instagram due to prolonged harassment. Geeks and Gamers published nearly 15 videos relevant to trans Star Wars Episode 7 or Episode 8, the Last Jedi character Rose Tiku. The channel claimed that trans character. So wait, okay. Long story short, they give the facts here. Right?
But hang on a second. The facts that you can't actually prove in the very last sentence. Many of the comments found in Geeks and Gamers videos can be seen in hateful comments under trans now deleted Instagram posts. So how can you find them if it doesn't exist anymore?
Well, they do. They have their little number 9.
Oh, they got 9 there. Sorry, okay.
They got their number 9. They got their number 9 blabs, which that's put on the second page of this. So. The long and short of this is that they are demanding YouTube demonetize those platforms. Okay. And then they're asking with, after laying down the facts, they throw down their action that is required. The Star Wars fandom refuses to watch another marginalized actor or fan be singled out by prolonged racist harassment from a handful of YouTubers as a result of YouTube's inaction, which has transformed hate into a lucrative career path. It is concerning to us that targeting marginalized actors on other social media platforms has historically resulted in platform bans, whereas the same behavior has made provocateurs millionaires on YouTube. This should be highly concerning to advertisers as well. We understand that YouTube has an important role to play in promoting free speech. However, content uploaded by Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic is not, quote, opinion or, quote, criticism. It is prolonged, targeted harassment against women of color. We urge YouTube to enforce its community guidelines and demonetize these channels immediately and permanently. Thank you. May the force be with you. By the way, number 9 right here, they have this. Number 9 just leads to this post right here, which actually doesn't have a link to it.
Exactly. They got nothing.
Okay. So we have this, and you may be saying to yourself, they're saying this has been a targeted campaign by G&G and Gary and Ryan, specifically because they don't like what's being thrown down by Star Wars, and being critical of it is racism and targeted harassment. But also, it is pointed out that about the same time, other Star Wars fans came out, like Kyle here. He's a Star Wars fan. It even tells you right there.
Kyle Katarn is a character. Star Wars, so.
Well, just so you know, he says it's time for you to be a part of the solution, Team YouTube. We continue to allow these channels to be monetized. You are incentivizing hatred and racism. I think this is fascinating along the way. I don't know what to say outside of like, if this isn't targeted directly at them, this is exactly what they're accusing them of doing.
Targeting, harassing. Yeah.
Yes.
My favorite thing is that dude, Kyle Katarn, right? His real name's not there on his profile, so it's a dude hiding behind a profile, just targeting harassment. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Kyle Katarn doesn't even exist in Disney Star Wars, so.
Yeah, he's gone. Wiped.
And you see this from that Star Wars girl says, oh, look, the Disney shills decided to write up, they would write up a manifesto in attempts to demonize and deplatform Ryan, G&G, and Nerdrotic. These wackos took the whole, if you're not with me, then you're my enemy line way too literally. They all need serious mental help. And you can see, like, they literally have just gone in and it's time for help, Team YouTube. And they put together this video here, rewriting Ripley Pod. They came in and they put together a video along the way, which, we could watch, but we're not going to because, it's silly. And that Star Wars girl came back, says, this person you are replying to is currently part of a mass hate campaign attempting to deplatform / cancel a bunch of fellow YouTubers because they don't like them, which goes directly against your terms of service. If you're going to look into anything, start there.
Yeah. That's the real offense. They're doing targeting, harassing against people that have different opinions than them. And they have all these citations in here that are, they say the facts, and then their facts are, they criticized her character in Star Wars. Nothing about actually harassing Kelly Marie Tran, which did not happen, and they never encouraged such things.
Well, they went. I mean, so they certainly have called, like, and that's the thing that I think is getting lost in this whole situation, right? Is when you're critical of something, right? Let's say you're critical of an actor. Let's call them actor A, right? I am critical of actor A for them playing character B. Okay. I say character B was played very poorly by actor A. Actor A then gets offended by that, creates a victim narrative where look at how much harassment I'm getting based off of the criticism that is being levied out by my inability to play character B. Right. Then YouTuber talks about actor A being a victim. So it's a perpetual cycle here. And then actor A goes back and be like, look at this harassment. So it's always the victim. I'm being harassed, when it all stemmed from criticism of the character and their inability to play said character. There you go. Sir Lurkington says, plus those guys are the guys that are targeting G&G, RK, and Nerdrotic. They always tell their audience not to harass, right? And look, I know Jeremy, I know Gary, I know Ryan to a lesser extent. Like, I know for a fact that Jeremy is not racist, right? I know for a fact that Gary is not racist. Ryan on the other, no, I'm just kidding. but I know these guys. I interact, and they are equal opportunity critics when it comes to this. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, gay, straight, trans, right? They can disagree with you being these things. But if you suck at something, you should, isn't that exactly what you want? You want equality, right? So if you want equality, then everybody should be able to be criticized equally. And that goes for Star Wars, video games, sports, whatever, right? And you see this as soon as there's some sort of criticism being levied, all of a sudden it turns into harassment. And that's the big thing here. We see this in gaming all the time, where somebody is critical of something, and then it's a harassment campaign that's being thrown down. So, Eric, you got any thoughts on this?
Sorry to interrupt, but I think YouTube should have like some type of penalty for people who like false report, false demonetize, all this stuff, because like how is there some sort of like, I don't know, not to be like authoritarian or anything, but like some type of control, basically? It's like anyone can just run amok and ruin people's like YouTube channels just because you can. I don't know. It's crazy. They should be somehow fined or demonetized for actually trying to. It's like those, the Me Too movements. That's what I see it as, Oh, he did this. He did this. Did he actually? Oh, no, he didn't. But you just spread a whole fire for no reason. That's how I see it.
You know what this really reminds me of? With Black Myth Wukong and their developer, with IGN's article where they're like sexist and misogynist, right? They had the article and they really legitimately tried to take down the developer of Black Myth Wukong based off the article. And when Black Myth Wukong took off, the authors of that article were legitimately upset at the success because their propaganda that they tried to push was not successful, right? And what happened was, remember there was the Chinese YouTuber who came out and been like, is what they're saying like tasteful, or is it edgy? Sure. Is it sexist and misogynistic? No. That's almost a mirror situation. Jeremy, like these guys, they talk like people talk. And that's maybe not to these Star Wars fans, but that's just how people talk. They talk off-colored. They have fun. They poke at people. And that's what friends do. They're normal men. That's right. Eric knows what's going on. It's amazing to see this. And will anything come of this? No. If Team YouTube is smart, they won't touch this because they understand that this is not harassment. This is criticism. And this would be a direct infringement of free speech and everything the platform is supposed to be about. So
I think actually Hypnotic puts it on the head really well. He says, I honestly can't wait for this failure of this campaign. It's going to go one of two ways, and neither will do well for the modern audience that shows up for a campaign on Twitter but can never show up for a product made for them. Option 1, nothing happens, they stay monetized and keep taking L's. Option 2, the YouTubers get demonetized, people rally behind them even more, the Streisand effect takes place, and the modern audience realizes that these YouTubers have such a big audience that they will directly donate to them in multiple different platforms, allowing them to make more money than they ever did because YouTube isn't taking a cut anymore, thus resulting in another L. Or in option 3, a bonus. Rumble Video makes a contract with these YouTubers, thus making any ad revenue loss they experience getting demonetized on YouTube, thus resulting in another L. So yeah, I think these are like the only options, really. You're muted, Craig. Talking to yourself.
I was just talking to myself again. Hypnotic is a very smart dude, right? Yeah. He's like, I've had private conversations with Hypnotic. He is a grinder. He's going to be massively successful, right? And he's smart. He's smart and he's right about this 100%. I think that G&G, the Streisand effect, will 100% take off. And I think he nails it on that. I could not have said that better, for sure. So
basically, they're just advertising. They're like, oh, I used to like Star Wars. Like anybody that follows Star Wars explains, like, I used to like Star Wars, but I'm not liking it anymore. And you guys just blow smoke up my ass now. These guys are actually telling the truth about what they think about Star Wars these days. Maybe I'm going to start tuning into them because they're actually telling me their honest opinions and not just being shills. And I've watched Geeks and Gamers, Friday Night Tights and stuff. I've seen them criticize other, the shills and like go over to a live stream and see that, oh, these guys are actually live right now, and don't say anything in their chat and watch as they have 10,000 people on their stream say this to them. And you see the viewer count go up and this person's live stream by 100, but nobody says a thing in their chat. And it's not only are Gary, Jeremy, Ryan, not only are they mature adults that know how to criticize accurately, their audiences as well, and they know there's no targeted harassment coming from any of these creators at all. And in fact, targeted harassment that's coming is from the people that are behind this coordinated campaign trying to get them demonetized on YouTube.
I'll say this. I know from experience, I think I was on Tuesday night's main event and I brought up, we were talking about some streamer or something, and I had it on my screen and I switched over to their tab and I saw that they were live. And Jeremy like immediately was like, do not go to their channel. Do not harass them. And he went out of his way because I fucked up and he had to cover for me in that situation because he knew that if he sent anybody there to harass them, like, look, I'm gonna tell you, like in the past 5-10 years ago, I would have done that. I'd be like, fuck this person, right? But that's against YouTube's terms of service now. Jeremy's smart enough to realize that, right? And realize that, hey, don't do that, right? Ryan's smart enough to do that. Gary's smart enough to do that, right? And the best thing about the 199 and the normal men is that you're smart enough to respect those boundaries, right? You can be critical of things without harassing things. And that's where this gray is for these people. There is no gray for them. As soon as you say anything negative, that immediately turns into harassment. And that's the issue here. And I think this will ultimately blow up in their face. I agree with Hypnotic. I agree with you, Eric.
It's just like there's more of us than them video that they came out with during the Acolyte, which was a joke. And then they had to take it down because they had their own people come out as like, stealing identities and harassing each other. So it's all a joke.
And it goes back to, look, people are like, they get pissed at side scrollers. They get pissed at, everybody in our space, GNG, whatever, go down the line. The reason why our channels are growing is because there's more normal men out there than there are of people. Like there's more people who are tired of this nonsense than there are people who just want to embrace it. Right. We talked about this, the tweet I had earlier about the modern audience, right? There's 50 people. Like that's who's yelling and screaming about Dustborn and Concord being a great game where they have 1 million people playing Black Myth Wukong, right? That's your normal men. You got 1 million normal men out there playing this game. They just want to play a game where you're a fucking monkey beating the shit out of stuff in ancient China, right? Like that's what people want. And they can discern the difference between harassment and criticism. These shills cannot. Blabs, you got anything else to close on that?
No, not really. I don't think this is all it's done is made Gary, G&G, Ryan bigger, and the other people are just going to look like losers, and they actually will lose support because like, oh, I didn't sign up for this when I watched your YouTube channels. I wanted to watch Star Wars and stuff like that. I didn't come here for some type of harassment thing going on the internet. So.
Well, I'll tell you this. I can't wait for some harassment campaign to start against us so we can grow through the viral campaign of marketing.
I'm good without the harassment. Thanks, man.
Hey, speaking of, I'll be on Dark Side Phil's show here in a little bit. Oh, man, that's good. Got some great super chats. Victor says they don't want equality. They want control and power. Correct, Victor. Correct. Mercenary says, my Lord, this is, I don't know. Get legal mindset on this. He will explain you how bad this is if YouTube follows through with this. Thank you, Mercenary. Appreciate that. Let me close that out. Close that one out too. Hide that one. Mercenary came and says, "Power in my area has been up for 4.5 hours." Actually, he said 12 hours. I guess that is. Mercenary, how are you sending super chats? You should probably not worry about us.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Mercenary. Appreciate that. It says, "Pray for us in Cali." Now it's at 7:30. Wow, it's nuts.
From like a loss of electricity.
Good old California, doing it great.
Scheduled brownout.
Country.
Yeah, maybe. All right. We always like to have a palate cleanser to finish the show, and Blabs found this one, and this one may be the best palate cleanser we possibly have had. Look, people talk about Russia all the time. Russia. It's coming back. But I'll tell you what. There's 2 things that came out of Russia that we want to share with you today, and that is a man and his pet bear getting drunk together. Let's go. Let's check this bad boy out.
На коне! Нет, скажи за Россию. За Россию. Я пью за медведя. За Россию. За Россию только. За Россию.
Give it up for the drunk guy on a bear. Notice the bear looking for more vodka here. He's like
feed me. I'm thirsty.
That's right.
Maybe he
man.
made the bear alcoholic and we need to call PETA.
Yeah, look at that guy's teeth.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, have you? I'm not gonna say this guy's been successful in life, but he's been successful in something. In that he's been able to train.
He looks like he's doing all right.
Bear tamer.
Yeah, like the idea that you can tame a bear to the point of riding it and feeding it vodka. Pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie. That's interesting. So probably the coolest thing you'll see on the internet today. Just throwing it out there. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, we are like that's how we do it right there. We're caught up across the board. Do we have anything over on locals, Blabs?
We do. Okay, so Spoon Ninja for $1 says, "Can we see Craig go buy the Astro Bot controller live on stream?" I think that's only online. I don't know though. I think. Spoon Ninja for $1 says, "Concord ain't chicken, it's Soylent Green." Spoon Ninja also says, "Don't forget to give DSP some tissues when you're on stream." And then lastly, Screen Rant have guides for Wukong and have a community note that they are sexist. Way to show they have two faces, getting clicks and still trying the line virtue signaling.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Nice. Marco Reality came in and says, I'm sorry. I was in a criminal trial for a week. Could you give me a quick synopsis of on the current canceling of G&G in them? Okay, here's the quick rundown. People don't like that they have different opinions, so they're going to YouTube saying they need to be demonetized. That's pretty much it. There's the TLDR. So yeah, there we go. Okay. Eric, please tell everybody where they can find you, my friend.
You can find us on YouTube at You Me the Movies and You Me the TV. We do movie reactions and TV reactions. We're currently watching House of the Dragon and Mayor of Easttown on You Me and the TV, and we're just now wrapping up the Jaws franchise and doing a couple westerns for the summer on You Me and the Movies, as well as other random movies. We just watched The Abyss, which was really fun.
Let's go.
We do 3 movies a week and 2 TV shows a week. So check us out Monday through Friday.
Love it. Love that, man. Great stuff. Hold on. Hold on real quick. I just got a text from Jeremy. He said, "My Twitter, check it right now." Hold on. Let me see what I got here. Let me see. Oh, here we are. Okay. We have an update. Breaking news. Thanks for staying with us. Those who left, sorry, suckers. This is from Jeremy right now. And an update says, "Thanks for reaching out. We just heard back and confirmed that this content is not violative and will remain up. We totally understand you may not agree with this decision, but we reviewed this video very carefully against our policies. G&G wins." The one
it's like they didn't even grab a video that was demonetized or had a strike on it or anything. They just grabbed a video of them saying an opinion that was the opposite of theirs.
Yeah. Wow. Good. Hey, good for free speech. Good for G&G. Good for Ryan. Good for Gary. Good for the internet. Good for YouTube. And everyone else who's being super critical, little soy jackasses. Fuck off. Fuck off. How's that for being critical? Yeah, there you go. You're
Wait,
part of the
I
problem.
think Elon. Yeah, Elon has a message. Where is it?
Wait,
Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
Hey, thanks, Elon. Thanks for chiming in. Appreciate that. Oh, look at this. The chat's busting out the USA chant. Let's. Oh, no. That's good. Is the world healing? These are great questions. All right. Well, big win. Big win. Good stuff. Congratulations to everybody who likes criticism and not harassment. Good stuff. All right. We got to wrap up. I got to be somewhere in about 20 minutes. With that said, I look forward to hanging out with you guys. That's right. We will continue to win, as Taken has come in with €5 money. Says normal men winning. That's right. That's what we do here. We win, and we will continue to win. Do us a favor, guys. If you're new to the channel, head on over and obviously hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button on your way out. We would love if one of you went over and went to sidescrollerspodcast.com and became a member, hopefully a supporter over there. If you see any value in our show, now is the time to support us as we continue to grow in situations like this. With that said, guys, have a great rest of your day. I will see you guys over on the Dark Side Phil show here in about 20 minutes. Any you guys got anything for me before I head into the Lion's Den?
Don't embarrass me.
Don't embarrass Blabs. No promises. Eric, you got anything for me?
Keep your pants on.
No
Make
promise.
sure the camera is off.
Yeah. Maybe I should. All right. With that
Eat your
said, guys,
demons.
have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys later. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got to go. Go get it. We'll see you guys bright and early, 11 a.m. tomorrow when we're back at it again for another episode of Side Scrollers. Have a great